Hey, what's doing YouTube? And welcome to episode 11 of my 2022 bodybuilding prep. It's now 6 weeks post competition, post the nationals that were held in Melbourne. It's about the 13th of June, so we're well into winter now in Sydney, Australia. And this is what I like to call the detox phase, or just the sort of 3 month, 3 or 4 month period after competition, where you're just trying to get where health is your main priority, and you're just trying to sort of detox from all the supplements that you were using in contest prep, and making sure you get your blood work and all that sort of thing um, all clear, and make sure everything is nice and healthy before you start any sort of any off season training properly. So during this phase, it's quite a difficult sort of period normally, just because your training is going to regress and your physique's going to regress, just because you're not as intense with your training, or as focused with your diet through this period as you were in your contest prep. So what I've done so far in that 6 week period is I've gone to a TRT dose with my testosterone. So I'm just using 100 milligrams of testosterone a week. A week after the competition, I just did nothing. So, and then I go to my TRT. Normally, in past, this was my seventh prep, but in all my other preps, I've done a PCT and had a period where I've been completely natural, but this is the first time when I'm not going to do that just yet, and I'm going to try and see how I go, see how the health markers are. Just doing some TRT for this, 2 or 3 month period post competition. As far as diet goes, I've actually started counting my calories. I'm probably going to work with a coach next bodybuilding prep that I do. I haven't decided when I'm going to compete next, but definitely going to be working with a coach, Mike Pearson, who's a two-time junior Mr. Universe and a super heavyweight national Australian champion. So definitely knows what he's talking about. Probably the best amateur bodybuilder in Australia at the moment. So very lucky to be able to work with someone like that. And he's made me, well, he hasn't made me, but he's advised me to count my calories, so I can track things properly and really give this off season a lot more focus than what I'm used to. So what I've done post competition, I've got my calories up to about 4,000, and now doing about 4,200 calories a day, or on training days at least. But I'll go through a diet in another video, as it'll just be too long. But it's so far so good with tracking calories. It's not 100% accurate, but at least it's something to sort of to go by, um, for the off season ahead. As far as training, we'll get into that. We'll get into that now. And so what I've been doing with my squat, I was barbell squatting and deadlifting in the same week, but I found I was having too many knee issues doing that. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I sort of worked up to 160 kilos for 5 reps with the squat, which is quite conservative for me. But just think, I want to still do my deadlifts. I think that's the best exercise for glutes for me. But on quad day, I'm going to be using a machine. So this is the Super Squat at Metroflex, and I'll also probably be using the Cybex Hack Squat at the new Pato Performance to progress my training. So my strength is still pretty good. That was 8 plates, and I'm getting about 8 reps, and I'm not really pushing things too hard. This is the deadlift. I've sort of worked my way up. I just started with 170 kilos post competition. I was aiming for 5 reps, but I was getting about 10 reps. But I just can't help myself sometimes. But so the goal is to at least get 5 reps and work up 5 kilos a week for my top set. And we're up to about 190 kilos at the moment, and I'm getting about 7 reps. So 180, I think I got 10 reps, but then I had a few weeks where my training was a bit disrupted because Pato spent 2 weeks out as they were moving gyms, but now the gym's open, so I should be able to get my training back on track. This is the bench press. So this was 115 kilos for 4. So my bench press has regressed a little bit, as I've still been trying to push as heavy as I can with the bench press. But this is the physique. I'm about 93, 94 kilos at the moment. Eating 4,200 calories a day, and still looking pretty good, surprisingly. Obviously, because I'm still on the testosterone, I'm gonna hold a lot more muscle than if I wasn't. I normally drop down to about 89 kilos or 88 kilos if I'm completely natural for about 3 or 4 months, but just don't think that's the best way to go about things anymore. Got some feedback from the judges in the classic, so I ended up finishing 6th in the classic in Australia in Class A, and the feedback was just need to be wider through the shoulders and the back, more V taper and tighter waist. So I need to work on the vacuum. As you can see there, I'm still a bit straight up and down. I need more width through my lats to sort of win those big comps in Australia. So that's not great news. Obviously my genetics are a bit of a problem in that area, but it's something still to work on. So we're going to give it a good crack and see if we can get that, see if we can master the vacuum and really control that waist, and also obviously build up the shoulders and the lats. That's going to be the priority for the off season. But as you can see, still looking pretty good, still in pretty good nick. So got to be happy with that. It won't be until about August, so another, I'd say, 6 weeks until I start any sort of off-season supplement programs, just to really give myself a good break. I'm in no rush at the moment, so just make sure everything is nice and healthy and try and maintain my training throughout that period. As you can see, I put a little bit of fat on the glutes and the lower back. That's always the first place you're going to find it on my physique, but overall pretty happy with how things are, and definitely hungry to get back on that stage and sort of really aim to win those big comps in Australia. I can't walk away from bodybuilding now, knowing that I'm that close, and I just need to work on a few things, and I could walk away with an Australian title. So like I said before, it's a little bit of a difficult period because you're not really focused on any immediate goals, but what I like to do is just focus on improving my technique with the main lifts and keeping my training on track that way. The recovery is not the best. I've had a few aches and pains, but that's expected at this stage. So really just trying to take as many days off from the gym as I can and not go crazy with the weights, even though I do love to train and have a lot of intensity with my workouts. But that is episode 11 wrapped up, and I'll catch you guys again soon.